Hey guys, this is Down Underdog.
This is Media Man.
I'm
What's up,
Captain
guys?
Orbit.
And this is actually a new video that we're hoping to turn into a regular series.
Be
series. Man, this enunciation. Series.
Yeah,
That we're going to be entitling, The Next Checkpoint.
we done graduating.
The Next Checkpoint, which is going to be you follow the hashtag. So, it gives you guys an opportunity to kind of, tell us what you're interested about too. So if you follow either one of us on Twitter.
Yeah.
Or
maybe.
three of us, I think.
Don't
maybe.
follow my Twitter.
Okay.
You heard it here first.
I've retweeted one Origin hashtag for Mass Effect. There was a sweepstakes. I've done it once. I'm just not a Twitter. I'll try to get.
Wait,
some
way to
more on
sell
Twitter.
yourself, Captain Orbits.
So you're saying you have a Twitter.
I do have a Twitter at Captain Orbit. You're more than welcome to
Yeah,
follow it.
it's
But
There you go. All right. So
to where
anyway,
we don't know.
the point was sidetrack derails.
Yay, ADD.
So the point was, if you guys are interested in particular topics involving gaming, or if you have certain articles that involve gaming that you're curious to get our perspective on, games that are coming out or have come out, anything that's gaming related, you can use that hashtag, the next checkpoint, and let us know, link us an article, or let us know what topics or questions you would like to have covered. So, that being said, first topic,
First topic.
the Nintendo Switch.
Switch it up. No.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
it was going so well. No, kidding,
No, it wasn't.
kidding. Yeah,
No.
no.
Not really.
No, so, okay, so Nintendo Switch. So what are your guys' initial, kind of feelings towards, from everything that you've seen overall? What is your kind of initial gut feeling?
I just want to be friends. No. Sorry, guys. I'm kind of, I get mixed feelings. I'm kind of excited about it, but, I don't know, I was kind of excited about the Wii U, so I don't know what to say.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's some good games on there, but that's another.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm excited about it. But the problem is that much like the Wii U, I don't know a lot about it. There's a lot of speculation, but to me, that's speculation until something comes out.
Yeah.
You know, so I really, and every Nintendo release that I can remember, and I love the GameCube, I love all the old systems, but they always come out and say first party's going to be better, and this is going to be better, and this is going to be better, and it's always, well, first party's always been great. I'm sorry, third party. But until I see something, because they've made those promises, and on the Wii U, there's some cool games, there's some cool first party stuff, but third party really wasn't there, and there wasn't a whole lot there. So that's just my 2 cents. But
I'd agree with that.
Yeah.
Especially with the Wii and the Wii U. Dog and I were talking about this a while ago. The third-party developers, it was too difficult to make a game for, let's just say PlayStation and Xbox, and then convert it into a Wii-specific control. And, still utilize the motion capture or motion controls and the light bar and all that stuff.
Yeah.
I think with the Switch is 100% a step in the right direction. I think that this is exactly what they need to do. It still brings out that innovative side that Nintendo likes to flaunt to everyone else and say, like, look, we're creative, we're doing something new, we're doing something different.
Yeah.
But it's still accessible to every single gamer out there. And I believe that that is evident by Skyrim being on the launch. Yeah. Having Skyrim as a launch.
Yeah,
Bethesda is one of the biggest third-party developers. Yeah. And Skyrim, even 5 years ago,
and they're excited about it, which makes me happy.
Yeah. Yeah, it's good to see people jumping back on Nintendo's bandwagon, so to speak, and being willing to not just say, okay, we'll kind of make this a port like Mass Effect for the Wii.
Right. Do you have to talk about that right now?
Yes.
So
I was happy,
nice
but
it's nice to see that they're actually bringing their quality. Yeah. Bringing their quality to Nintendo again. So I think I'm really, really looking forward to the Switch.
I am excited about it. If I can add, and the one thing I do kind of have a concern, not to kind of be the downer guy, but the whole tablet thing, I think looks great, and I'd love to play Zelda on the road. But I remember commercials and I remember promises with the Wii U that you can take your games wherever. And I honestly couldn't even go in the kitchen. I live in a condo and I couldn't even go in the kitchen without losing connection. So I'm just wondering how good that's going to be, and can we really play Zelda on the run? And it looks like it's coming together, but
I think with the way the technology is now, I think that's absolutely going to be a possibility. And to me,
I hope so.
It always felt okay. See, okay, PlayStation 4 just came out with the PS4 Pro, right? And then the Xbox One made the Xbox One S. I believe.
Yeah, HDR. It's all about HDR.
That's what I kind of felt the Wii U was. It was kind of like a 2.5 console rather than here's the next big thing. Fair. Yeah, and I feel like the Switch is everything that they've been working on since the Wii, going, okay, look, we did it right this time.
Yeah.
You know, it's not the Wii U Z or the Wii U S or the Wii Plus or no, this is the Switch.
And honestly, I'm sorry. Yeah, honestly, from a marketing standpoint, I worked at a particular game store. Rhymes with stop.
Stop.
Yeah, stop. Now stop. But when I worked there, it's funny how many people came up and, what is this thing? Is this just an extra thing for the Wii? Yeah. Is this, no one knew. And not really, just about a month back, I went in to shop around a little bit, pick up some PS4 games, whatever. And, I heard a parent asking, like, so what is this? Is this just an attachment? And I'm like, so, and how long has the Wii U been around? It's been 3-4 years? I don't even know.
That's the thing. Nobody knows. Nobody knows. Like, okay, here's something else that you can buy. And you're like, do I have to buy new games for it? And the fact that which was cool, the fact that they kept connectability with the GameCube controllers and the Wii controllers, it was good. However, it still led to that we're not entirely sure what we're doing. We're kind of keeping, one foot up here and one foot down here, trying something new, but not really committing to it. And I feel like the Switch is the first time since probably the Wii, which was 2000, whatever, 7? I think 2007.
Way back when we were
2007 or 2008. So the first time in 8 years, give or take, that Nintendo's been committed to making a new console and saying, nope, we're going to stop, trying to tie this and tie that and gimmick this and say, this is what we're committing to.
See, it's interesting because as a man without a coffee cup in my hand, I will tell you.
I don't know what that means.
It's the
what does that even mean?
It's a speaking cup.
So I can't speak.
Next topic.
This is my safe cup.
I will say I'm somewhere in the middle, actually, between your guys' takes. I definitely agree that the Switch is definitely a better direction than anything that they've done since GameCube. So basically the Wii. But on the other hand, I feel like they didn't go far enough with the losing the gimmick. I love Nintendo games. I love Zelda. I love Mario. I love Smash Brothers. I love Mario Kart. All these are fantastic titles. My problem is that Nintendo's target audience versus their realistic audience are completely opposite ends of the spectrum. And I think that they keep pushing their consoles since the Wii at, we want this to be a console that everybody in the family plays. Grandpa, grandma, mom, dad, kids, everybody gets to play along.
Casual.
Which, kumbaya, this is great. Fantastic. Except the people that play and buy Nintendo consoles for the most part are fanboys. The people that grew up with the GameCube, grew up with the 64, grew up with the SNES, the NES, and they just love Nintendo titles.
They'll buy anything.
They'll buy, So, for me, what kind of, I guess, is slightly disappointing is you look at what Xbox has done, you look at what I should say Microsoft, you look at what Sony has done, and they've created consoles that, you have Skylanders, you have Lego series, you have titles that anybody could pick up and play, but they have harnessed the hardcore gamer. They've harnessed the competitive gamers, and they're actually tailoring some of their games to be major titles that speak to those types of players. And I feel like with the aside of Smash Brothers, they have this tendency to want to still push towards the family function and making it gimmicky. Yeah. And again, I think that the Switch is definitely, I agree, I think it's a better direction by far. I like that they finally made it so the controller can just be a controller. that goes a long way. But, like you said, I agree that they still want to try and have that gimmick. That's my problem. I think it's just, for a lot of people, it leaves a bad taste in their mouth playing the Wii, playing the Wii U, and you're like, oh, okay, another thing that Nintendo's trying to be different. And I think just the gaming community has grown up. Not necessarily in the age of players, but in the technology and the demand and the expectations. And I think Nintendo's always been slightly behind the other two companies since the Wii. And actually a little bit in the GameCube, but definitely since the Wii. So I just, for me, I think it's definitely a better direction. I just wish they would just have said, hey, you know what? We're not going to make anything gimmicky. Let's just make an amazing hardware monster of a console that does 4K, that does amazing 60 frames a second, competitive with the other two consoles, that plays Nintendo titles. And that would make me happier, I think, at this point.
I think as a Nintendo fan, we're talking about the Wii U a little bit, and I buy Nintendo consoles for the Zeldas and Marios, and we'll go into that more later, but, and I was, with the Wii U, I was kind of a bit disappointed because I don't think we got a new Zelda. I'm not talking about a remake.
I did not buy a Wii U, and there was no, if Zelda would have come out for a Wii U, I would have purchased a Wii U. That's literally Zelda and Metroid are the reasons that I buy Nintendo
and
products.
I do think the third-party stuff is important.
Yeah.
Oh, so absolutely. Especially if you're like, do I want to buy this console, or this console? But for me, I'm not buying a Nintendo to get Call of Duty.
Yeah.
I'm buying, of course I don't want Call of Duty anymore, go into that, but I'm grumble. But I'm buying a Nintendo console because I want to have that Zelda experience. I want to have that open world. Yeah. When Ocarina of Time came out, blew my mind. And the GameCube Wind Waker. I mean, every console they've had, even the Wii had a great Zelda title.
2 great Zelda titles.
Yes. Thank you. Boom!
Sir.
Yes, sir. Well, yeah, but the other one was on GameCube as well.
Yeah.
I'm talking about just exclusive. Huh? No. But that's cute. Sorry. But that's why I shouldn't have coffee. But but yeah, so, but they had Skyward Sword, which was which I like the game itself, but I never was much for the Wii controls doing this and trying to hit something. It wasn't never for me, but it was still a great game. And when we got the Wii U, it was like, hey, Wind Waker's remade. Thanks. Twilight Princess is remade, I think. Yeah. Thanks. I would like a Skyward Sword remake. That would be cool, especially if you could use the pad and all the controls. Yeah. But there was nothing I really got excited about. I mean, Mario was cool, but that was more of a multiplayer thing, So yeah, I mean, I think if they can focus, I am excited.
Yeah, no, like I said, I'm excited about it. I'm excited about it. I just, it's kind of got that now. I have a hesitation to want to buy it now, and that's my thing. Now,
can we talk about the rumors a little bit for the Switch?
Oh,
now these are rumors, okay? Nothing's confirmed. I've been scouring the interwebs and YouTubes and all that stuff, just to kind of get some information, but I'm getting all kinds of information, so I'm kind of throwing it up to you. If you guys want to, in the comments, want to talk about it, and if you know something a little bit more, or I have a link to a great video that explains it more. But I've heard it's got the power of a Xbox 360, and now they're saying it's more powerful than the PS4 Pro, and
I hope it is.
Yeah, I do too.
Honestly.
I honestly do too. But there's so many rumors out there. Have you guys heard anything that kind of adds to it, or because I don't believe anything's confirmed until it's confirmed. That's my take on anything. But
I heard if you buy it, there's $1 million in it.
Yeah, there you go. Buy
it
it
here first.
Buy a Switch, and if you don't find $1 million, go ask.
Exactly. Go ask.
Go ask. I'm Underdog. This is my best. This is my best friend.
Yeah.
Wow. So anyway. But yeah,
honestly, I haven't really heard any rumors because I haven't really, I guess, from my own personal bias, I haven't really looked that much into the Switch. I've watched the official trailer. I've looked at some of like the the fact that Zelda, they're trying to decide whether they're going to release it or not. At launch, I should say. But I haven't really, I don't know. For me, I'm probably going to have a whole big answer to this because I haven't really had a desire to look into it because I'm trying to stay away from the hype train. I'm trying to be surprisingly happy versus disappointed if I buy it.
My other concern, playing a little devil's advocate, is that, isn't it supposed to release in March?
Next year?
2017.
Really? I didn't know it was March.
Yes, it's supposed to be. Again, I'm not sure. I believe this is confirmed. I'm pretty sure it's confirmed. By Nintendo.
This rumor is confirmed.
In the rumor segment.
I believe I'm not 100% sure this is true, but
I've heard it's releasing.
Yes, it's coming out in the next few
Confirmed.
years. No, but in all honesty, it's going to come out when Zelda comes out. No, whenever that is. But no, I have heard. I do remember it being confirmed for March 2017. And I'm pretty sure. I'm sure. If that makes any sense.
That's actually surprising to me because you think they would go for like a Christmas launch.
There's no point in releasing in March.
Yeah,
It's not summer. Kids
Now
are
this
still gonna be in
isn't
school.
just
It's
to
not-
be clear. This isn't
I know.
official.
No, I understand.
Yeah,
But this is what I've
It-
seen officially.
Yeah. There's a reason that that major movies release in May because it's right before summer.
Right.
There's a reason why
Yeah.
9 out of 10 consoles release in November.
But
Because it's
Nintendo's
right before
never done
Christmas.
anything normal. I mean, they don't.
Well, the 64 launch was a Christmas launch.
That's true.
Yeah, so was the GameCube.
But the
so-
3DS came out.
Well, but the 3DS was just a kind of like upgrade to the Nintendo DS, right?
Yeah, but what an upgrade!
Oh, I agree with you, but
Best
it'd still
handheld
be
ever.
An upgrade.
I don't-
No, you're right, because it would still be an upgrade to a console. But yeah, I guess that would be an exception to the rule.
But I mean, my thinking, and I'm not a marketing expert, would be Christmas. Release it sometime in October or November. Sony's known for doing that. PS4 Pro November 11th, and it sold out like crazy during. I think they said it sold like 50 million more than the Xbox One or something. I don't know, but anyway, that's neither here nor there. But yeah, to me, they've always kind of done things a little bit differently, which sometimes is cool, sometimes it's frustrating. Yeah. Most new games release at 9:01 now. We had to wait till midnight 01 to get the new Zelda, which we'll talk about a little bit later. So if you're Zelda, I'm sorry, Pokemon.
Like,
I'm thinking Zelda. I'm just so much in my mind that Switch Zelda. I can't wait. Anyway, squirrel. Back to focusing. Derail. Yeah. But this is why we need notes.
Yeah.
But when I was in line for the Pokemon, midnight, 12:01, it was a huge line, but it was like, why are we waiting until midnight? Because Nintendo said so. That's why. So I just find that they always have been doing things kind of differently. But yeah, so any more thoughts or rumors? I don't.
You won't get me from me because, like I said, I don't.
Yeah,
I think as it comes to the Switch, I think we've already kind of covered everything.
Yeah. So just to kind of cover it, we know nothing. No.
You're welcome.
Thank you for watching.
Yeah.
No.
All right. Well, then let's kind of switch topics then a little bit. Okay.
Yay.
So let's talk about the fact that like a lot of retro consoles seem to be popular again all of a sudden.
Yeah, go figure.
Yeah. I mean, that was the NES Classic is already sold out. They have a backlog. I mean,
Because they made 5 of them.
Well, that's a whole other subject.
Okay,
But like,
sorry.
yeah, but like, just like the fact that like people like all of a sudden there seems to be a huge demand for older consoles, and people
True.
want to get into it. A lot of YouTube people, personalities, I should say, people. I need to be more sensitive. Content creators.
Should you be sensitive, please?
Yeah.
They hurt my feelings.
Right. I'm sorry. Anyway, so
We'll get through this.
yeah, a lot of content creators are starting to do a lot more Let's Plays of like old classic stuff. So, why do you guys think there's kind of this? Almost, it seems like I don't know if it's like a backwards trend, but it seems like to be more of an inclusive trend. It's kind of going backwards as it's going forwards. Do you guys have any thoughts on like why that is, or where do you think that might be coming from?
I'm not sure. I mean, if this is a bizarre way of looking at it or not, but bizarre brain, beautiful mind. But I think for me, it's a simpler time in a sense. Not that the games are simpler, but just I remember I was loading something on the PS4, just kind of going, I just want to play. Why do I have to download? Why do I have to install?
Yeah.
Well, you used to press a button and you get into it, and if you died, no big deal. And there's also a sense of accomplishment, in beating a lot of these retro games. I think people are just kind of craving that simpler time as a lot of games are going for hyper realism. I love fantasy worlds. I love the old Zeldas, the old, I don't know how far you want to go back as far as retro, but even just NES and N64, all that stuff. And it just took me away from a different world. I don't want to play a game necessarily. And some are great out there, but where I'm doing stuff that I do in real life. Mm-hmm. And I think for me, the retro stuff, it helps me also remember like when I was a kid, and I just kind of get back in that zone where I'm just I'm just having a good time. There's no political nothing. It's just having a good time and trying to save the world and that accomplishment. I think, and we're done. Thanks.
I can see what you're saying. I think it kind of falls on a couple things. Number one, there are so many titles out now that say from the creators of GoldenEye or from the studio that brought you Crash Bandicoot. Mm-hmm. And if you look at what they're making now, Rareware, for example, they made GoldenEye and Banjo-Kazooie, and then they kind of got into the Perfect Dark and then Perfect Dark Zero and stuff. We're not going to talk about that. But, and then Naughty Dog, who made Crash Bandicoot, now they made Last of Us, which was an amazing game.
I will admit, I still have never played that.
You'll enjoy it.
We're going to record him playing it. So
he's going to get so mad at the AI. So mad.
You got to play it.
And then they did the Uncharted series. And
sorry.
No, I say too, but in a different way. I was not a fan. Really didn't like it.
We can still be friends.
Yeah.
But it's cool.
But see, so people, like Naughty Dog, the stuff they did Crash Bandicoot, people will say like, I wonder what the other things that they did. Mm-hmm. Then you have games like Gears of War 4, leading people to go, oh, was there Gears of War 1? God of War, the new trailer that's coming out for the new God of War. Yeah. Oh, there was a God of War 1, 2, 3, and 4.5 or whatever it is. And I think it kind of brings people to a place where they say, I wonder what else is out there. I wonder what it used to be like back then. Mm. The second thing that I think that kind of drives a lot of it is the accessibility now. You can literally go out and buy 12 games on Steam for 99 cents, or on the virtual console, like Super Mario Brothers is $1.99. And if you had $20, you could buy 18 games, and you can just kind of play around with it. I think now, especially with our generation getting to the point where we have kids and we're saying like, look what I used to play. You like this, let's try some of this. I know for if I'm going to be bringing out my N64 and my kids will be built on old video games,
Yeah.
And so I think it's like you were saying, kind of the nostalgic feel, but not for a lot of the gamers as much as it is a lot of the gamers that are discovering it for a new time as well.
That makes sense. Yeah, I definitely, I can totally see what you're saying. Like kind of, it feels like name dropping, right? In a sense. So it's like, hey, if you remember how much, when you were growing up, you really enjoyed Super Mario World. Yeah. Well, you'll love Super Mario Galaxy too. So it's like that name dropping kind of a sense. And that was a bad example, but
that was actually a really good example because I would say things like, I haven't liked a game this much or put in this many hours since X. Yeah. And that would lead a lot of people to kind of rediscover those things.
That's true. Yeah, I think that would definitely, I hadn't considered that. So that makes a lot of sense.
And I think for me, you really hit on something talking about like with the kids and stuff like that. And I do have a son that plays, and it's really fun, as my wonderful wife got me a Genesis, the old Genesis that had like a million games in it or something. I don't know. It's a bunch. Half of them were Genesis and half of them were like chess, but I mean, some really cool games. So
yeah.
And my son was just having a blast. Yeah. I mean, he was just having a good time, and I'm sitting there just smiling, because I'm watching my kid play these games that I enjoyed as a kid, and I think that's a lot of it is really that. And I don't have to worry about, watching him play these games. And as a dad, I know it's all relevant to how you raise your kids. I don't want him playing the next Grand Theft Auto or whatever it is at his age. And it's nice that he's sitting down and playing something. I know there's nothing going to be really bad. And plus, build your skills. You think you're a gamer?
Get good.
Get good. Let's play some Commando or something.
Contra with no Konami code.
That's right. That's right, man. Exactly. A lot of tears. You think Dark Souls is hard.
I think another thing that kind of leads to that is growing up, I didn't have video games like growing up. My parents just wouldn't let us have them. And now that I'm an adult, funny story. I was going past a pet store, and I was thinking about it, and it was like, there's literally nothing stopping me from going in there and buying a lizard. Like, I'm an adult. I can do that. I can do that. And so I think
follow
now,
your dreams.
Seriously.
That's right. That's a lesson for today.
But if you think about it, growing up, I wasn't, I couldn't have video games and stuff. I can literally go out right now and buy Sega Genesis with Sonic the Hedgehog. Why not?
And
I'm an adult.
And a lizard.
You know,
If you
and a
want
lizard
it.
to
And
go
a
with
lizard.
Gex. I can buy Gex.
You can buy Gex. Oh,
You know?
Gex. That game was so fun. It was so bad but fun.
Yes.
And so I think that's what leads a
Yeah.
lot of it is that people
No, that's
can
a good
now,
point.
there's so much more accessibility with virtual consoles, especially
Oh, yeah.
being able to go in and say, oh man, I remember that from when I was a kid, or, oh, I always wanted to play Chrono
Absolutely.
Trigger. That's still a game that I've never
Oh.
played, and
That's a
everyone and their
phenomenal
mother tells me
game.
that I
right.
need to play it.
Yes.
And guess what I can do? I
Yeah.
can go over to my Wii, I can go to the virtual console for $5.
Yeah.
I can, or whatever it is, I can buy Chrono Trigger and play
As
it,
you should.
you know?
And if I can interject just real quick, the DS version was phenomenal.
Okay.
And so if you have it, it's phenomenal. So if you have a 3DS and haven't played it yet, go look it up. Or it's on the virtual console, you said, right?
Probably,
Yeah,
yeah.
probably. Or on your, no, never
Well,
mind.
even the
But-
3DS.
Confirmed.
Even,
Yeah.
yeah,
Actually, it's on iOS as well. It's on phones.
Oh, wow.
Sorry.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're not going there.
No.
But it is. I did not lie. Yes, I caused you
No, but it's
to
true.
almost throw up. That's my goal. But Captain Orbits. But yeah. So
Okay, yeah, that I think we kind of covered that well.
I think we
Makes
did.
sense to me. So
yeah.
now the opposite side, modern gaming. So
Mm.
the state of how you think games today are being developed and or kind of the environment that gamers are in or is being portrayed. What are your guys' thoughts on either of those subjects?
Well, I mean, it's kind of a mixed bag because you have the continuing trend of games like, dare I say it, Call of Duty, where they
Bum, bum, bum.
try and see what can be bigger and flashier than last year.
Mm.
Then you have games in the same genre, like let's say Titanfall 2, who they had a good formula and they actually listened to their fan base and said, what do the fans want? They wanted a single player campaign. And I haven't played it yet, but from what I've heard, it's
Brilliant.
incredible. Absolutely incredible.
He has
I have.
some YouTube videos on it if you guys want to see some gameplay.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah.
Click
I
the
do.
link down below.
Click, click. But no, I'm sorry. No,
No,
please.
no,
Continue.
Please.
Please.
And but then you also have developers like we were talking about earlier
Yeah.
with Nintendo, where they, like Breath of the Wild, the new Zelda game, they've pushed it back because they say it's not ready yet.
Yeah.
I'm fine with that.
I'm cool with that.
You know,
Yeah.
then you have developers like Bethesda that put out quality games and then go, we're just going to re-release it in HD anyway. And you're kind of like, that's an odd choice, you know? So there's really ups and downs all over the place. Yeah, right. Sorry. Yeah. So it's not where games used to be where, and as you were saying earlier as well, when you put a game in, when I bought the Nathan Drake collection and I put it in, I was like, all right, let's do this 9 hours from now. You know, because you got to download patches, you got to download updates, you have to make sure that everything's up and current. And I did that with Destiny as well. Launch day, I'm like, sweet, let's do this.
Yeah.
Rise of Iron just came out. In 3.5 hours, I'll be able to play, you know? And whereas back in the day, you throw in the cartridge or even the discs back in like
That's a
PS1
fast
and
connection,
Xbox.
right?
Yeah. You know, you just throw it in and you're good to go.
Tomorrow I'll
And
play.
I feel like a lot of people, especially developers now, kind of have this mentality of, we'll fix it in post.
Yeah.
You know, like, let's get it out there. Let's make people go, we'll fix it later. You know, if anyone finds, Batman Arkham Asylum, apparently Watch Dogs 2,
You're trying to make me cry, bro.
I think it was Assassin's Creed Syndicate, at one of the Assassin's Creeds.
Syndicate,
Dishonored.
I gotta say,
Dishonored 2.
I'm sorry, I gotta say, but no, I got Syndicate maybe a little bit later, but it ran really, it was one of the best running Assassin's Creeds on the PC. I just want to be clear.
Maybe it was Black Flag. I know that there
You're
was,
one of them.
and now that I think about it, the Syndicate
There
was
was
one
some-
with the brother and sister,
There
right?
was,
that one wasn't the one.
brilliant
That one,
on PC.
that's the one that I've heard is.
Just want to make sure we
amazing
give
as well.
credit where credit is
No, and
due.
that's correct. Redact that last.
Yes.
statement. There was an Assassin's Creed that
Yeah.
came out that had the major issues with it.
Control of the lousy and just
And
why
so
am I walking off a dock?
yeah, yeah. And
Wait,
that's-
there's no
that's
dock in this
exactly
game.
it.
What's
Yeah,
going
you're
on?
walking on thin air.
Yeah, it's
So.
just I agree.
Yeah, I agree. I think one of my biggest frustrations is it seems like so much focus is on what made us money. in the last version, and
Yeah.
how can we repeat that but a little bit different to make more money? And I get it. I know they're businesses. I know that they have shareholders. I understand all that, but there needs to be a balance of, you know what? This is Land Before Time 13.
I think they're up to 16 now.
Sorry,
They're like
16.
Are they?
That would
They're
not,
like 15
that
or
would not
16.
surprise me.
Land before Call
at
of
what
Duty.
point you're like, you know what? I think it's time to stop. I think it's time to stop making Land Before Time movies.
Yes.
The problem is
People
people still buy
buying
them,
Land Before Time.
Yeah.
and that's the problem.
That's the rub.
And that's why I'm like, I don't know if the problem with, money searching, money seeking, is because of a lack of effort on developers, or because a lack of expectations on gamers, or of gamers. I should say, lack of expectations of gamers. And so, like, I don't know. It's just frustrating to me that, like, how many Call of Duty iterations have there been? How many Final Fantasy iterations? And Final Fantasy is a great franchise, and they make great games. But at some point, the story's completely different. You have to go, okay, this is no longer Final Fantasy. This is its own thing. Let's make a new series. Let's make it even a new game standalone. It's starting to get really old of seeing, long-lasting legacies of franchise titles that are just only a little bit different. And it's your favorite, sometimes it's your favorite characters and just new lands. Other times it's your favorite land with new characters.
Yeah.
And both of them just kind of like, okay, it's getting old. Like, show me something new and innovating. And there's some that are great.
Yeah.
Like that. But just getting old.
I do want to speak to, and I agree for the most part. It's okay to disagree.
Yeah.
I do think when it comes to the Final Fantasy series, I've been playing them since I had an NES or the Super NES. I'm sorry. Did they have a Final Fantasy NES?
No, just Super.
Just Super. Yeah. Sorry, guys. I remember my history, but I remember playing, especially playing 3, and just it was amazing and all that. And for the most part, they're really different. They are really. I mean, I'm playing 15 right now. I'm really liking it right now. I'll get a review out as soon as I can. But it's a long game. But then they started doing that 10, 10.2, 13, 13.2, 13.3, 13.3.5, or whatever they're, like they started taking those because, I don't mind it being in the same series. The problem is, you mentioned Call of Duty, and I don't hate Call of Duty.
No.
I just don't like Call of Duty.
Okay, if you look at it objectively, like what
Yeah.
you're saying, Call of Duty games by themselves are good games.
No, they are.
I'm not
Absolutely.
doubting
Absolutely.
that. It's the fact that every year they go, okay, here's a new Call of Duty, and here's a new Call, and here's a new Call, and here's a new Call. And
Yeah.
you're just like, get it.
Yeah.
And even though it's 3 different developers now, so at least they're trying that, but it's still the same 3 developers. We're either getting another Black Ops or another Modern Warfare or another Your Face or, whatever.
Grand Theft Auto.
I mean, but as far as Call of Duties go, we'll talk about that in a minute.
Yeah.
But, whatever the new iteration is, it's still, it's the same. And there's a certain sameness and there's a certain, and I've been playing games, I always mention this since Pong. No, it's not the best game ever, but it's my first memory of playing a game because we had a big old set, But, yeah, I mean, I'm with you. It is really frustrating, especially with the power of the consoles. Whether you're a PC Master Race or console, the consoles are still beefy enough to turn out some amazing stuff. On the other hand, there are some original stuff coming out, like The Last Guardian, and like, but what I would say, just, because I have the floor right now, but when a developer makes a good original game, buy it!
Yeah.
Stop complaining about the Call of Duties and going out in droves and spending millions of dollars on Call of Duty 90.
Mm-hmm.
Because that is how we speak to the developers and say we want something different.
Vote your dollar.
Vote your dollar.
Vote with your
I
dollar.
don't know what you.
And I see what you're saying, and I completely agree. However, we're saying that from our mindset, where, and we talked about it in our video, Dog, where the original Halo we played for 3.5 years.
Yeah.
No DLC, no extra maps. It was all LAN. It was all, at home, all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Now you can, for $20 a month, get unlimited internet and play anywhere with anyone. And there's this new expectation now, where games don't have to be, they don't have to have that longevity.
Yeah.
A game can be really good and really flashy, and people will go, I really like the multiplayer. I had about, 70 hours into it. I wonder what's going to come out next month or next summer or
and
things
you
like
need
that.
a 5-hour campaign.
Yeah.
I've always said I enjoy multiplayer with people, but I'm really a single player guy, and I think that's part of my struggles. Give me something different. But, and I don't want to say the Call of Duty games aren't quality. Mm-hmm. But like we've been saying, I've been playing them for however long. I used to love playing Call of Duty 2, not Modern Warfare 2, but Call of Duty 2 when it was
actual Call of Duty
World War 2, I believe, or something, and you had to actually have some skill to cock your rifle at a time and all that stuff. But,
and I think that actually drives a lot of the point when you just said back when it was World War II. One thing that the Call of Duty series has done is progressively get further and further on the timeline. Yeah. So now it's Infinite Warfare is like in the future. Well, what is every single Call of Duty fan been asking for since Modern Warfare 2?
Battlefield 1?
Go back to the World War era. That's what they wanted.
That's great. Check it out.
And they didn't listen. They kept progressing and timeline progressing. And so then DICE said, hey, I'm just going to make a World War game, and I'm going to get all those Call of Duty followers. And DICE made a great game. They made a great game. It had some struggles, of course, once again, back to the whole we'll patch it and post.
Right.
But they listened to what people wanted. They gave them what they wanted. And now, that being said, they also did make Battlefront.
We won't go into that.
But Battlefront wasn't what we wanted.
No.
To be quite frank. That isn't what we wanted.
I was about to say apparently it is because we voted with our dollar, but then there was tons of complaints of people that bought it. So
but you can get a GameStop for $9 now. It hasn't been out for that long. Yeah. I'm just saying. Yeah. So we did kind of vote a little bit with our dollars.
Yeah. And back to what you were saying about like if you like the developer, if you like the game and stuff, games like Star Citizen that are coming out, the developers are working their best and they're working with the community. Yeah. They open up the alpha test. No, it's pre-alpha actually at this point. And they're allowing them into the developmental stage, saying what works, what doesn't. They just remodeled the Cutlass, which is one of their ships. Yep, they remodeled it. They changed some things because of user feedback. Mm-hmm. And then you get games like No Man's Sky that are saying like, hey, we're going to do this and this and this and this and this. And the game comes out and people go, man, I really wish it had this. And they went, too bad.
Yeah.
Well,
okay. And they just added, housing and base building and stuff. But at this point, it's too little too late.
Yeah.
Now, I will go on record, and hopefully I don't lose all my subs for this. I don't hate No Man's Sky.
Because you're a what?
Gamer.
Because you're a single player gamer.
Well, there's that. And I do understand the multiplayer part and where they kind of dropped the ball. I get that. And I do wonder that sometimes
had the ball to drop.
Right. That's fair enough. But I do wonder, and this is just something to think about. I'm not saying it's the answer.
Yeah.
How much of that expectation do we put on them, on the developers? Because there are sometimes hype. Sometimes it is developer hype, and they say we're going to do this and this, and they don't. And sometimes, and I'm not just talking about No Man's Sky, I'm talking about games in general. And sometimes we put this amazing, this is going to be the best game in the whole entire world.
That's right. The Battlefront. Star Wars Battlefront fell short.
Yeah.
They didn't not deliver anything that we were told. It's just we had Battlefield or Battlefront 2 in our minds going, I'm gonna
and here's my problem, and I'll be honest, when I heard that they weren't going to have Conquest mode, I went, Yep. Just instant, came free with my PS4.
I didn't buy it for that reason.
It was, I still have it on my PS4 because you can't trade in a digital. It came with the game. Can I trade this code in? They just look at you funny. I want someone to try that. It'd be fun.
Just write it down.
Just to see what GameStop does and film it.
I swear.
But yeah, I mean, it was disappointing. I mean, I'm not gonna lie about that. But I did go into No Man's Land. I think the reason I liked it more is because that particular game, for some reason, I didn't pay attention to all the hype. I didn't pay attention to that. I'm like, this looks interesting. It's an open world. Sometimes I just want to turn my brain off and explore. And there were better games that do that. But, so I enjoyed it more. But I do get, because I do remember some talking points. I don't remember if the developers or other people saying, and you can meet with your friends, and you can do this, that, and the other thing, and it didn't happen. So I do get the frustration, but I do got to give them credit. Whether you hate the game or wish the developers would fall in a pit of mud, or I don't know. I'm trying to come up with something clever, but yeah, I know.
Something that's still PC.
I'm sorry. I was
Get in that mud, you fiend.
I was trying to be clever, but it just didn't happen. But there you go. That's why I have friends. Mud or something, all your bases belong to us. But I don't know. What was I saying? Help me out, friends.
You were talking about developers, the hype.
Yeah, the hype. So is it? This is live, guys. Is it one we put on them, or are they? If they're hyping up themselves, and I do remember I was talking about No Man's Sky, where I do remember them talking about, you can meet your friends, you can do all these things, and all the excitement and everything else,
which in theory you could run into your friends in a vast galactic scale.
I saw one guy, I think, and then he ran.
That's exactly.
It was like,
and you're not even sure.
Hi. Yeah. I was lonely. I mean, it is. I think that's part of what the problem was. Is there was a certain amount of loneliness, but yeah, I mean, they're, and I think one of the things I'd say about modern games is the story. I want to talk a little bit more about stories of. I used to get into the story. I didn't rely on graphics and stuff like that. And it drew me in. These little 2-bit characters, and I wept when one of them died in Final Fantasy III. But it's an old game. If you haven't played it, go do it,
Virtual console.
Yeah, virtual console. There you go. Nobody dies. But
they live on a farm. They're on a farm.
Yes. But they're all somewhere nice. But yeah, so the story was a big deal back then, and the modern games don't have to rely on it as much. Yeah. But anyway, so just kind of to wrap up, I guess my thoughts were, I was talking to a developer who does AAA games. I don't want to mention the developer or the studio or anything, but and the frustration that came out of this guy because he was trying to work on something original, but there's a certain crunch time because people were saying, when's the new. I'm not saying it's like, when's the new Call of Duty X, when's the new, whatever it is coming out. And he didn't have time to do what his real passion was. And I think sometimes developers lose that passion. So, even if you want to buy the new Call of Duty, great, but go out and support those good new games.
Yeah, no, that totally makes sense to me. And I think part of that, too, is it comes back to vote with your dollar. I mean, if people aren't mass buying every single game that comes out from any developer, then it will force developers like, oh, that game title didn't do as well. Maybe we should kind of rethink this. Or, oh, people didn't buy the latest Call of Duty as much as we thought. Like, I don't know if it's, I don't know. It all comes down to vote with your dollar. Like, if you like a series franchise, then great. Buy the next title. If you're happy with it, buy the next one. Fine. But don't just... I think the trap you get into is, man, I love playing Black Ops 2. Oh, there's Black Ops 3 coming out? I'm sure I'm going to love Black Ops 3. I'm going to buy Black Ops 3. And I think that's the problem, is it's that auto-association of, because I like this, I'm sure I'm going to like this. And it's kind of a hard balance, because you obviously have to purchase a game to know whether you're going to like it or not.
Yeah.
But don't reward lackluster increases. Like, if you play Black Ops 2 and you liked it, and then you play Black Ops 3 and you don't like it, if they come out with Black Ops 4, don't buy it right away. Maybe watch some other YouTubers that purchase it and see if it's like, oh, okay, actually it brought back elements I liked, and then go buy it.
That being said, I've fallen into that trap before when I saw Transformers, and I was like, oh, that was pretty good. And then Transformers 2 came out, and I was like, that was a terrible throw him in the mud. You know what I mean?
That's going to be our new thing.
Like,
throw him in the mud.
Surely Transformers 3. No, just not as bad, but just terrible beyond belief.
Yeah.
And I paid money for each one of those. And so I can easily see how you want to, just like if you're, right now I'm playing competitive Overwatch. And
Love Overwatch.
Yes.
We all agree.
And so, like, let's say that you're playing and you're on a hot streak. Like, you win, you lose a match and you go, okay, just one. I can't leave on a loss.
Yeah.
So you go one more map. Well, you
Yeah.
lose that. No, okay, I can't leave on a loss. I gotta get it. And you just keep going because it's gotta be better, right?
Yeah.
And then pretty soon you've lost 5 games in a row, and then you say, well, it's gotta end sometime, you know? And I feel like that's the same.
But you're
with what a
having
lot of people are
fun.
doing.
You're having fun is the key.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You're right.
Just one more.
And to kind of go off of what you're saying about your the developer that you were talking to, a lot of times developers are told, we want you to get the base game out. Then we're going to charge them for a season pass.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And how many people bought the Battlefield season pass?
$50 for season pass or whatever it is.
$130 or something for Battlefield.
Oh, is it with that?
With the season pass and everything.
Okay.
The season pass itself was the price of the entire game, I believe.
Got it.
And what have they come out with so far? A couple maps and maybe like some heroes. And you're like, not $60 worth of content.
And I just want to mention real quick before, kind of move on. Support indie developers, because I'm a big indie fan, as you know, from my website, which I'll post down there. See? But there's some just amazing original stuff. I can start listing off things. But I don't want to do that because there's too many good ones. Yeah. I can, but if you're like, I want something different, modern games are doing the same thing over and over again, check out the indies. There's some great stuff. Not all of it's good. Yeah. But most of it you can find demos for, on Steam or wherever. So
Yeah, let's say Steam.
that's my plug, but
Let's just say you can always check the Steam Greenlight section if you're looking for something kind of like up and coming, but kind of under the radar. Obviously, those are great places to check.
Yeah, and check my site, check wherever, because I do a lot of indie stuff. Just on Twitter, there's a lot of people that post a lot of indie things. Definitely. So,
where I've actually been finding a lot of indie games is, and you're gonna butcher me for the pronunciation, but Imgur or Imager or Imgur or however you want to say it.
I read a post recently that said Imager.
It is Imager. It is technically Imager.
Maybe we can post a link down if we can find it.
You'll find
we'll post
GIFs on Imgur or GIFs on Imgur or whatever you want to say. But I've actually found...
I'm not saying it because I'll destroy it. So.
I've actually found a lot of people saying, hey, I'm an indie developer. This is a game that we've been working on. You can find it on Steam Greenlight, stuff like that. I've actually downloaded a game that somebody put on Steam Greenlight, and they were a community member of Imager. And I've been saving it in case you guys want to do a Let's Play. Sure. I've been saving it, and I'll tell you what the game is.
I know a guy who does Let's Plays.
But who is that man? But yeah, and it's stuff like that. Like it's always worth taking a look.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Cool. All right, cool. So thanks for watching us. If you liked this kind of a format and you liked what you saw and you were entertained by this, please give us a like.
It looks like this. It's blue.
Yeah. If you don't like it,
give us a like and then just pretend you didn't.
Yeah.
I really need to feed my family this month, so if we could.
All right, guys. So we'll post the link for Media Man reviews over here, and Down Underdog here. And if you don't want to follow Captain Orbits' Twitter, here.
Don't.
So yeah, guys.
Maybe you'll inspire him. He'll put some stuff on there.
So yeah, obviously all three of us are on Twitter. You can check out both our channels. And again, use the hashtag, the next checkpoint. We'd love to see what kind of articles you guys are finding on gaming that are interesting to you, whether it's esports or, anything that you're really into. And that's gaming related.
Yeah.
That's gaming related.
Thank you for,
Or if you have questions about, things you've always thought about or whatever, and you want some feedback or some general unbiased thoughts from someone else. So, use the hashtag, which we'll put here.
Hashtag.
And,
if I can add too, if there is, you can also check our individual channels, and if there's something you want to see, you can check
absolutely.
either one of us. We're both growing channels, so we love your feedback.
Absolutely,
it's all about what you guys want. When gaming related again, make that clear. But
this is just going to open up a can of worms for both of us. We're going to get
we'll be thrown in the mud. Is that yeah. So anyway,
hashtag thrown in the mud.
Thanks, guys.
Anyway, so this is Down Underdog.
Media Man. I almost forgot who I was. Here I am. And that guy who has no Twitter
and this is your captain
account.
speaking. All right, Captain Orbits.
Captain Orbits. Peace out.
Later, guys.
Bye.